These skills literally saved my life. I want to be honest with you, something that someone in my position just wouldn't be honest about. I wasn't actually good at anything. When I was in school, I wasn't a smart kid, I wasn't a sporty kid. I did fail most of the GCSEs. I literally scraped maths and I scraped English by a margin. I was just there. I was not the kid who stood out for the right reasons. I didn't have a plan, and when school finished, the drift just continued. I grew up in Salford. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, it's one of the roughest places you can live in the UK. It was topped by one of the worst places to live list for years. Houses going there for next to nothing. Streets people had given up on. You don't just grow up there thinking you're going to do something good with your life or you're going to do something great. You just grow up there and think you're just going to get used to it. I was nothing special. I failed most of school. Not the smart kid, not the sporty kid. I was just there. And when school ended, I did what you do when no one else handed you a direction. I just drifted like a feather in the wind. And when I was 18, I got a labourer job. And if anyone doesn't know what it's like on a construction site, basically I had to start from 7 in the morning till 5 p.m. And I did do it for about 6 weeks straight, but I did hate it. And then Iceland, and look, the job itself was nothing. Scanning tins, stacking shelves, the same walk every single day. But what it did give me, it was time to think, time to look around, and I started really looking at the people around me, the ones who had been there for 5 years, 10 years. There's good people, hard workers, but you could just see it in their faces. This is the quiet kind of resignation they had in their face. And I remember standing there one shift, just watching, and thinking, I cannot let this be me in 10 years. I don't know what I want to do. I genuinely had no idea, but I knew everything in me that I did not want to be this for the rest of my life. And sometimes that's just enough. Sometimes not knowing what you want, but knowing what you don't want, that's the thing that finally gets you moving. So I did keep on drifting. I tried accountancy, never found my feet, never belonged anywhere. But I always had my headphones in, property podcast, mindset content, trying to figure out what people who'd built real freedom actually knew that I just couldn't quite grasp yet. Then I fell into recruitment, and for the first time, something clicked. And if you're watching this right now and you work in sales, in recruitment, or any kind of corporate role, I want you to really hear this part. You're commuting to work every single morning. It could be 40 minutes, it could be an hour. You're sitting on that train or stuck in traffic, headphones in, scrolling your phone, and somewhere between leaving the house and walking through the office door, you put a mask on. You become that version of yourself that's fine, that's doing well, that's grateful for the salary and the commission structure and a clear path to the next level. And you are good at your job, maybe even actually great at it. But there's this thing that lives underneath all of it, the quiet voice that shows up on Sunday nights or on a commute home when the mask comes off. And that just says it, doesn't it? This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And you can't quite explain it to people because from the outside, everything just looks fine, but you feel it. You've always felt it. And that was me. I'd sit on that commute every single morning knowing I was walking into a building I just didn't want to be in, to do jobs I just didn't care about, for a company that just wasn't mine. The salary felt like a trap dressed up as security. I was doing okay, but I was actually never fulfilled in any of it. And the worst part, I just didn't know what the alternative looked like just yet. But I was always looking, I was always searching, but I knew that I'd always known that property was the vehicle for me. Something about it just made sense. The idea of building something real, something that generates income, something that compounds over time, I knew it, I just felt it. But every time I looked into it, I hit the same wall. You need deposits, you need mortgages, and you need capital that I just didn't have, and connections I just didn't have, and a background I definitely didn't have. And so I'd close the tab and go back to the commute and the desk and the commission targets and tell myself maybe one day it'll work for me. Until one day I did come across Airbnb management. There was no ownership required, no deposit, no mortgage. You manage the properties for landlords, you take a percentage of the revenue, and you build a portfolio using other people's assets. I remember thinking, wait, is that actually real? Does that actually work? But the more I looked into it, the more something else hit me, something I just wasn't expecting. I already had the skills. Everything I'd been doing in recruitment, speaking to people, building trust, handling negotiations, objections, selling an idea to someone who wasn't sure yet, that was exactly what this needed. Pitching it to landlords, that's sales. Building a brand, getting properties online, now that's marketing. Managing a pipeline of deals, a team, a calendar of bookings and cleans and check-ins, that's called operations. I spent years building those skills for someone else's business, and now I could point them directly to my own. So I decided I was actually going to give it a try. I didn't go it straight away though. I started while I was still in a job, and the business started to grow. It was 2 units, then straight to 5, then to 10, that I was managing Airbnb properties, learning the systems, building the processes, still on the commute, still at the desk Monday to Friday, but everything had changed inside because now I had direction. Now I had something that was mine, and by the time I had 17 units on the books, I knew it was time. And I want to tell you what that felt like, handing in a notice, because it was the scariest thing I'd ever done. I built my identity around that job in ways I didn't even realise until I was walking away from it. The salary, the structure, the thing when someone asks you what you do, all of it gone. But the second I walked out of that building for the last time, something else hit me, relief. Like I could finally breathe properly for the first time in 5 years. Like I've been holding something in for so long, I didn't even know it was until I let it go. I was finally free. I was free to go all in, free to scale this thing to the way I'd always seen it in my head. There was no more splitting my energy. There was no more mask on the commute. There was no more Sunday night dread. It was just me, the business, and everything still in front of us. And now, I want to be real about this part because it's what most people do skip. It wasn't instant. It took months and months of grinding, of getting it wrong. We got into the rents early and didn't actually get the right deals, so they just bled a lot of money. I was deep in my overdraft, working 12, 16 hours a day, and I was still losing. There were nights I just genuinely doubted everything. Nights I looked at the numbers and thought, do I actually have to go back to recruitment? Do I have to crawl back to that desk and pretend again? But I just kept on doing the reps. I just kept learning, kept focusing on getting better. And here's where I want to bring it back for a second, because sometimes now I think about that kid, the one from the council estate in Salford, the one stacking shelves in Iceland and wondering if this was it, the one sitting on the commute with the mask on, doing okay, but never truly living. And I think about how much that has changed. I wake up now and I do choose how my day looks. I'm not commuting to someone else's building. I'm not sitting in meetings that I'm just pretending to care about. I just don't. I'm building something that's mine. I travel when I want to. I'm starting to build a life my younger self used to imagine in the quiet moments. The moments he never told anyone about because it just felt so far away. And to say that out loud, it is kind of crazy. The kid never thought this was available to him, and now I get to live it. And when I started making real money, I started traveling. I moved to Dubai, where I am right now, and this has only made me grow even more. I started connecting with people who had the same hunger, the same vision, and I started to really understand what all of this was for. Because here's the best part, and it's not about the money, it's not about the travel, and it's not even about any of that. It's about the impact I get to have. It's the people are going to remember you based on the impact you had on them. It's not the revenue, it's not where I live, it's not the direct impact you had on real people. We now employ over 30 people across multiple businesses, 30 people, 30 families, and I get to hand them opportunities to earn more, do more, build more, something for themselves. And beyond the team, we've helped hundreds of people through the BNB Playbook go from zero to running their first Airbnb management business. People from the same background as me, people who grew up thinking, was this kind of thing available to them? The thing I want you to understand watching this is that money is cool, the freedom is cool, but the reason I wanted to build this, because I knew if I had traded my hours to a desk I didn't care about for the rest of my life, I would never actually know what I was capable of. And here's what I just didn't expect. It wasn't just a business that I grew, I managed to grow. The skills I built through this, sales, the marketing, operations, leading people, solving bigger problems under pressure, those both belong to the business, those belong to me. I will carry them for the rest of my life into every single opportunity, into every room, into whatever comes next. You cannot untrain someone who has learned how to sell, how to build, how to lead. Those skills compound the same way money does. And the person I became through building a business, mad, more confident, more decisive, clear on who I am, and more of what I want. That's the thing that can never be taken away from me. You find your potential when you stop surviving and start thriving. And that only happens when you're not stressed about the bills, not trapped by a salary, and not living life by someone else that's designed this for you. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy the removal of everything else that stands in the way of the version of you and the version of you where you want to be. I was not good at anything. I grew up in a council estate in one of the most written off places in the UK. I failed school. I drifted through dead-end jobs. I sat in Iceland wondering if this was it. I sat on a commute every single morning pretending everything was fine. I lost money in my first deals. I sat deep in my overdraft and 16-hour days wondering if I just made the worst decision of my life. But one skill, learning how to build and run an Airbnb management business, opened everything up for me. And I just want you to know that it's an option. It's not the council estate or the corporate job forever. You can build a life you want. It's just on the other side of actually developing the right skill set. Understand what you want your life to look like and then break it down. What do I need to learn to get there? If you do that, you'll unlock freedom, you'll build yourself, and you'll be able to make the impact you've always wanted to actually make. And that's exactly why I started the BNB Playbook, to work with people who all used to travel in the same commute, all from similar backgrounds, now learn how to start and scale their own Airbnb business. Just to give you an example off the top of my head, we've got Tom and Keller, who joined us at the start of the year, making 2 to 3 grand a month just from staging a property. They're making the recurring revenue every single month after. We've got Alex, who joined us at the start of the year also, who got a 16 grand booking for his unit. You can build a life that you want. I did it. Airbnb management was the thing for me that unlocked that, and that's what I want for you. It's not the units, it's not even the income, but it's the ability to actually live a life that aligns with you, where you can figure out what you want to do and who you actually want to serve. You're not stuck because you're not smart enough. You're not stuck because of where you grew up or you just didn't study. You're stuck because you don't know what it is that you want and why. You don't know what vehicle is going to get you there, and that's it. That's the whole thing for me with Airbnb management. I was in Iceland, I was in recruitment, I had no idea that this was even an option, and now I've helped around 100 people make the exact same transition. People from the exact same background as me, people in 9 to 5s, people who thought property was only for people with money, people who never thought the kind of life was available to them, and now it is. So if you want to work with me, I've left a link in the description where we can break down exactly what this will look like for you. If not, I just hope this video helped you understand 1, what it is that you actually want, and 2, what skill or vehicle do you need to get there.